The crop tool is this tool right here, right under the magic wand tool. And what it does is it basically allows us to crop an image, obviously. So let's click on it. And the minute we click on it, you will see that there are like angled shapes on the four sides of our document, which means that we're ready to choose a dimension, a certain smaller dimension, obviously, than our document and crop. What we need to do is just hover over one of the four edges, let's say this left edge, and then click and then drag as much as we need to. Now I'm going to crop to the edges of my image, and then using the top and the bottom. Once I'm done, I can just hit enter, and then that's my result. If you're done, if you're satisfied with this and you don't wish to see these angles of the crop tool anymore, obviously you just hit V and it takes you back to the move tool and out of the crop tool. There's another way of cropping, and that's by going under image crop, but as you can see it's not highlighted because I haven't selected whatever I wish to crop. So before going to image crop, I have to have a selection. That's what this means. Let me first of all zoom in by hitting Command plus, and then take my rectangular marquee tool, which allows me to make a rectangular or a square-like selection. And let's say I want this much of the image, which is something, again, remember, I can do with the crop tool, or manually by taking the rectangular marquee tool and selecting a certain part of the image, and then just go to image, and now you see that crop is active. So just hit crop and your image gets cropped. Again, to deselect, hit Command D. The next tool we will cover is the eyedropper tool, whose shortcut is the letter I on your keyboard. I really recommend you learn these shortcuts because they make your life easier. So V for the move tool, M for the rectangular marquee tool, and then I for the eyedropper tool. Obviously the others do have shortcuts, but I'm referring to the ones you will be using quite often. So that takes me to the eyedropper tool, again the letter I on your keyboard. And what the eyedropper tool does is it basically picks any color from your image. So let's say I wish to select this green because I like it and I wish to use it for a different purpose. I just hover over this section and then click once. What happens is that the color goes into the foreground of my color section in the toolbox. So then I can click on that color and the color picker panel opens and I can see my green. So I can use this green for any other purpose. I can even, change the green to adding some more yellow, adding some black to make it darker, and so forth. Another very powerful thing that the eyedropper tool allows me to do is if I open my info panel from under Window, and I hover over anything on my image, let's say this red color, it shows me the value of the color. So it's currently telling me that if you look at the info panel, it says that I have, to get this red color, I have 4% cyan, so 4% blue if you will. Cyan is the right word, but since you're beginners you may not know what cyan is. 96 for magenta, which is a fuchsia color. Mixing it with cyan, yellow, and black, they, depending on the values of the colors, they end up creating the color that you want. And then 96 magenta, 100 yellow, and 1% black. Wherever you hover over your image, these values are changing in the info panel. Not only the CMYK values, but also the X and Y location. So now it's telling me that my eyedropper is located at an X coordinate of 880 and a Y coordinate of 106. So it's really, a helpful panel that allows you to know what you're doing and take control over your work.